No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Expressiva Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.
What I really want to encourage is, just as I would with a house concert, as a group music house concert, where a musician might say, well, what should I play? You know, and I say, well, play what you really resonate with. Play what helps you tell a story. Play something that makes you feel connected to maybe how just that feeling of familiarity that from when you were even a child, and maybe your instrument, you know, you just felt like, this is me. This is something that feels like me. You know, what pieces, whether they're pieces that you could, maybe even pieces you've composed, but that allow you to create a sense of continuity between the deepest connection you have to your art and being able to share that in a way that, you feel like really embodies just your love of your craft and your gratitude for it. And if you share that, then I'll probably be inspired.
So my advice, if I can start with judges and teachers, and I know that the people involved in this competition will already be completely on board with this, is to create a safe space in which performers and contestants can feel able to show their true selves and their true potential and artistry. And my advice to contestants is to just enjoy it, be excited, be carried away in it, and feel safe to give everything that you have to offer.
What I would say to contestants is that I know competitions seem to be a platform for, in effect, showing off. But don't think about impressing. Think about revealing yourself. Don't think about the competition as the end of a learning process. The competition in itself is a learning process. And if you have an engagement with your art and you have the humility to understand that every performance is a learning process, and you have the ability to reveal yourself as an active, engaging, learning artist, even in the process of performing, then I think that's the kind of thing that will really strike a chord with the judges.
I just want to say that this period is not an easy one. It's a challenging one, but it's also offering a lot of opportunities. So I think we should embrace it, and we should not be afraid to stand still sometimes, or maybe we think that we stand still. But instead, we will have a lot of more time and dedication for the other things that we were not thinking of when we were still in, let's say, 2 years ago. So it's an opportunity. You should never let yourself leading by fear, and you should always remember that your trust is much bigger in whatever you do. So I would encourage you to use also that trust in what you are and what you believe in as a musician, to be authentic and express your musicality, the person you are online, and don't be afraid that people will have an opinion about it, or that's not the goal. The goal is that you have confidence that whatever you present online is the best that you do at that moment, and that the people that watch you, they embrace you, they have confidence, and they really can help you to bring you to a different or a next level.
I have to confess something. I myself had an occasion to participate to a competition. It was very, very long ago, and internet didn't even exist. It was a competition for guitar, nothing special. And I didn't make it to get to the final. I didn't even make it to get to the semifinal. But I was very excited to participate, and the proof is that I still remember it. I found it a very big experience, and I noticed that also the audience was not so many people watching, but there were some, and the audience was also pretty much excited about this because will he make it or not? This was the question, at least about me. And of course, in the competition there were a lot of very talented musicians. So to the musicians, to the potential participants, I would say, don't hesitate. Throw yourself in, give it a try. It will be interesting. No matter how it goes, it would be very interesting. You will get an experience out of it. You will make yourself more rich as a musician, as a person. You will be able to communicate to a lot of people. And for sure, however it goes, you will be appreciated.
It's definitely a new, uncharted time, and that there are definitely challenges, but there are also opportunities. And one of the things that I feel most moved about is that people are letting themselves be flawed but human, and the sense of community, I think, is really important these days. And we just try. Just try. We all need a reason to get out of bed in the morning. When we don't have that live performance, it becomes harder to discipline yourself and to kind of practice for some strange nebulous thing that may or may not happen. I know, to me, as a composer, I had a lot of commissions that are postponed, and it's very difficult to sit in the chair and to do the kind of self-examination that you need to do to improve or to create a piece of music or to prepare for a performance. But having something to look forward to and knowing that the people on the other end of it want to hear that, it's not just, you're just not sending it out into the void. This is valuable. This is a chance to have a reason to play scales and tune the instrument in the morning and get out of bed and fight fearlessly forward into an uncertain future. There are people on the other end of that, and who want to hear what it is you have to say. And so play those scales, practice that repertoire, be bold, be daring, and be human.
For the listeners, once again, I would say it's really something that every music lover should watch. This kind of competition, because you can see participants, players play. You can even see judges judge. It's completely transparent, and it gets very, very tensive when it goes to the final rounds. It gets pretty tensive, also pretty intriguing. And if you watch such a thing, you will certainly be involved.
So the setup that I talk about in the course is the same setup you would use if you were on a Zoom session or any kind of broadcast. So the only difference is that it's going through the internet as opposed to being recorded onto your program. So the quality will be the same, and it's really no different. So if you understand, and once you get things plugged in, you do quickly become familiar with the basics of the setup. It's not that daunting after you finally get the new gear to work. It's the same. You'll get so comfortable with it, and the quality will be much better because, and I've done some tests. My just doing meetings using the mic on the computer, I'm like, oh, it's just a meeting, and I listened to some recordings of it. I'm like, that's horrible. So I don't care what I'm doing on the computer. I'm not using my internal mic. I'm always going to use my interface with the one mic. It sounds better. There's more control, and you can position yourself, and you have more options than just the limitations of a computer mic that's picking up all the noise around you and things like that. So there's that kind of stuff. For the musicians, we'll get a better quality broadcast or recording, and then it's always a good thing to hear yourself sound good. It's just you could have played a great performance, but if the recording was horrible, it's not uplifting. So it's a really good feeling to get a good sound. You know, you're a good performer and you cap yourself well. It's just, that's going to be a great thing for you, and, you know, just moving forward with gigs or auditions or anything. So,
but I want to say to the ones who are not winning, you also will have this opportunity. You will make music and you will make people happy through your music, and by doing that, make yourself happy. Your development might come later. Mine did. I won some prizes, but not major competitions. But somehow I was so lucky to be encouraged by musicians around me. And I kept on learning, I kept on improving. And I think maybe 10 or 15 or 20 years after the competition age limit, I found myself to be a much better, much more secure, much more universal musician than ever before. In spite of not making big careers through competitions, I did very many things that were gratifying to both myself and hopefully my audience throughout life.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Anna Uspinskaya, and I'll be host of this program. This is our last session of today. We are broadcasting every day at noon, 2, 4, and 6 Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be broadcasting tomorrow 4 more sessions. I'm co-hosting this program together with my colleague Margaret.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sound Espressivo stage. And I'm coming to you from Yorkshire in the north of England, in the United Kingdom, in this truly global competition. And my wonderful colleague Anna is next door to me, but how far away? How far away is next door?
Well, it's going to be about 3,000 miles. I'm in Washington, D.C. area suburb.
Well, there we go.
And Sound Espressivo is a new generation of classical music competition. We invite contestants from around the world to perform in live broadcasts. And they can join from anywhere, any place. They go through rigorous preparation with our technical checks, and voila, they're on a virtual stage right next to us.
Absolutely, and we have a fantastic panel of judges drawn from some of the top performing artists, music educators, people who work in the music business and the classical music industry from all around the globe. And the Sound Espressivo competition is quite unique in that it offers an unprecedented array of awards for our successful contestants who will succeed, will triumph in the finals next week.
Absolutely. We'd like to encourage everyone to check out our website. There's a lot of information there about judges, about the prizes which are being sponsored by management companies and educational companies all over the world, and waiting the finalists to take the stage next weekend. We are in the process of selecting the finalists, not me and Margaret. It's a panel of judges, and we have the judges already here, joined us. We would like to start introducing them. Margaret, you take it.
Yes, our first judge, I'm excited to see the first time we got an all-female judging panel. So,
yes.
Yes, so our
we
first
had
judge,
all gentlemen's panels a couple of times, right?
Yeah, we have. So I'd like to welcome Elizabeth Mann. Welcome, Elizabeth. Welcome to this session of the competition.
Thank you.
Welcome,
I'm so nice to see you, Anna, again, and I'm so thrilled to be here this evening. And I'm in Maine. I live in New York. In fact, I'm very good friends and colleagues with several of the panels today, the panel members today. I went up to Maine. We're having a big storm here, so I hope that I can stay connected to you for this next 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, we'll make sure you stay connected.
Yeah.
If anything happens, our technical team will bring you right back.
good. But I'm really excited to hear everybody, and just it's nice to be here.
Thank you. And let us introduce and welcome on stage Donna Wang Friedman. It's an honor and pleasure to have you. Welcome.
Hi,
So
Donna.
nice to see all of you. Nice to see all of you. Liz, good to see you again. I'm so happy to be here. Very excited about this new competition. Very unique and really, I think, beautifully run. Bravo to all of you. And looking forward to hearing all these wonderful contestants.
Oh yeah, we have a wealth of performances. We're coming from the previous session, which ran over because some contestants added more repertoire at the end, and the programs were rich and inspiring. And we're so looking forward to what musicians brought to this session. It's very exciting. Let me welcome on our stage Kelly Hall-Tompkins. Welcome.
Hi, nice to see you. Great to be here with everyone. Nice to see you again, Anna, and nice to meet you, Margaret and
Thank
Donna.
you. Nice to meet you too, Evangeline.
It's a really creative competition, and I look forward to seeing some wonderful and creative performances.
Absolutely, and you will not be disappointed. Mind-blowing.
And we also welcome as our fourth and final judge, we welcome back. She's judged for us before. And has been a wonderful, warm and supportive presence with some terrific comments and advice for our contestants. Evangeline Benedetti, welcome back. How lovely to see you again.
Oh, it's nice to be here again.
Yeah.
I truly enjoyed doing it yesterday. It was, informative, educational for me to see what people are doing all over the world. We had an Australian and a Korean, as well as someone from Long Island. So it was, it's quite enlightening. And I really do appreciate that you all have put all this effort in to devise a new way of a competition and put everybody together in this horrible time of this really worldwide pandemic. So I'm going to say off the cuff, you all are creating a musical pandemic that is worldwide.
Yes, let's hope that musical one takes over and kind of tempers the rest of the one.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you all so much for joining this session of the Sound Espressivo semifinals. Thank you for your generosity, your expertise, your attention. The contestants are going to benefit tremendously from your sharing yourself as musicians and artists with them. Looking forward to the comments. I have my pencil ready. I'm taking notes because you judges are really spilling beautiful pearls of great advice, not just for the contestants, but for myself as an artist and a pedagogue too.
Yeah.
We'll be moving on to introducing our first contestant. This is the age group, which is mixed. We had to accommodate different time zones, and I'm doing a lot of first grade mental math, which I'm not used to doing anymore. What time is it now in South Korea? And they have Sunday already. It's mind-blowing. Yeah. So this group put together age group 15 to 18, also the age group of 19 through 25, and the age group 26 plus. So we will be announcing the age group of each contestant to give an idea in which category, I mean, not category, in which age pool they are competing, because that's very relevant to the future decisions of the judges regarding their advancement to the finals of the competition. Yeah. Margaret, would you like to introduce our first contestant of this session?
Yes, I think that we have Seung Ree Lee, I think, violin. I just want to check that's correct. We're still catching up with ourselves because we've had to kind of scan.
That's right. I believe.
Yes, we have. Yes. Oh, there's a relief. Welcome. We do appreciate it's probably not the most hospitable time of day for you, so we do appreciate your coming to join us, and we're looking forward to your performance very much.
Yes, welcome. Age group 15-18.
Yes.
Wow, what a brilliant, such an energy, what a wonderful performance. I love this piece. And I don't comment on the contestants' performances. This is completely up to judges, but I want to say I love your pianist. She's fabulous. Bravo to the pianist.
Yes.
Thank you for joining the contestant. What a supportive, great accompaniment.
Seung Ree, 감사합니다. That was beautiful. Such beautiful playing. I love your poise in the opening theme. I think that's so important. The timing that you have in the theme when it comes back is so nice. And the beautiful tone that you get on the E string is very sweet. If I have one thing that maybe you might think about in the future, it's keeping your first finger down more when you're playing the passage work. But everything was so beautiful, very clean and poised. Bravo, congratulations.
Oh, I guess I'm up next. The string players unite. Congratulations. I thought you played a very accomplished performance of a very difficult piece. So without being particularly specific about anything, I just would encourage you to keep going. Keep growing, keep finding a little more creativity in your music so that the phrases are a little more exciting and you can have more contrast between what is sort of bubbly and happy and what is really lyrical. But I think you have all the possibilities to do anything like that. So keep it going. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi there. Again, I want to say congratulations. Like everybody said, so many great qualities you have in your playing. And there are moments where the technique just feels effortless. There's moments where the musicality feels like it just comes from your heart and soul. And as Evangeline said, I would just continue with that path, because there are also moments where it feels like the technique is overtaking any musical intention. So I would, from the very first note from playing, I want you to be right in an intention of what you want to do with the music. And then you have to get your technique to a place where, I'm not a violinist, where I'm not thinking about your technique. I know it's such a difficult piece. So I just encourage you to keep growing. And then also when you're doing the performance, it's not that you should look to the camera, but I felt like you were just a little away from us being able to see all of your intention. So just make sure that everything's set up to feature you at your best from a performance standpoint. So great job.
Congratulations. I really enjoyed your performance. Again, I thought the collaboration was wonderful. If I were to be a little bit critical, not even critical, I would like you to enjoy your own performance a little bit more, have some more fun with it. We are communicating in performance the music, your story, and I'd like to hear more from you about your playing. But bravo, beautifully done.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this brilliant performance, and we thank the judges for very encouraging and very practical and comments which will help you grow in your study and go forward, right?
Yeah, we just need to make one slight correction, actually. The age group is actually 19 to 25.
I apologize
there.
for that.
No, yeah, just a minor correction. But Anna, would you like to introduce our next contestant?
Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to hearing our next contestant, John Cheng. Welcome on stage, and this will be age group 26 plus. Let's welcome John.
Hello, John. Welcome.
Hello. Am I unmuted?
Thank you so much for this beautiful program.
Oh, thank you.
And I love that last Schubert piece. Oh my gosh, so soothing. And the cold evening here. To the judges now.
Congratulations, John. You picked some of my favorite pieces. You have exquisite taste. And I have to say that these pieces, the program you chose, is challenging, not just technically, but musically. And you did a very good job. The Chopin Nocturne is probably his most introspective and restrained of all of them. And his nocturnes are masterpieces, but they're so hard, especially the left hand. And the control of the left hand to make it completely quiet really requires a lot of skill. You did a very good job. I have a small little suggestion with the low C sharps with your pinky. Those C sharps create pedal points throughout the first and last section, and it's subliminal. It's very quiet. So try not to accent the pinky. It's really hard. It's the lowest note, and it's on the offbeat. But if you can really control that, then we can get that sense. And the very opening, which is so mysterious, and he kind of plays with us with the E and the E sharp. Is it major? Is it minor? It's very organic, and just kind of, let's not try to find the meter. I don't want to hear the first beat. I just want that opening to just, reveal itself. The Beethoven, just remember that Beethoven is a symphonic composer. Everything he writes, he hears orchestra. So remember that, listen for the color, listen for the instruments, and bring out what we so love about Beethoven. And the Schubert Sublime, the tenderness that you feel for it, I felt for it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. I'm going to say to you, I think that we're all in agreement. A beautiful program, and I could really tell that you, especially the last piece, that it was really near and dear to your heart. I'm going to make just a few general comments that work for me when I'm performing. But I try to hear in my head what you want to sound from the very first note. And I find sometimes even winning auditions, judges and people can immediately be drawn in or not drawn in. And you played so well, but the very opening of each piece, they're so difficult. And I think if you can hear in your head before you start, if you can just quiet the noise around and think, before you start each piece, give yourself a little time to get. So I felt like the very beginning of the Chopin, it was too real for me. It needed a little more, where is this coming from? Some magic. And then the same thing with the Beethoven, just how do you get that clarity without sounding like you're accenting the opening notes? And so it's really about creating the mood for each piece. And then sometimes in the Beethoven, technically, I just want you to give yourself the time for your technique. So don't be in a hurry through your technique because that'll allow the music to come out and will make the technique even better. But overall, I really love your sensibility of the music, of how you played, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Again, as my colleague said, it was a very ambitious program and you acquitted yourself beautifully. I like, well, I don't quite know. I'm not a pianist. My grandson is learning and I listen to his lessons. So I learn by osmosis. But just in listening to you and in what I hear in music is that I don't feel that your left and right hands are actually playing the same music all the time. Now, this probably sounds a little silly, but because of course you are. But in the Beethoven, there were places where you had a bass, da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee, and runs in the right hand. And they were not precisely together. And so it's hard to say, but you don't have a left hand and a right hand. You have two hands. You have a handedness that has to totally coordinate and become much more in touch with each other so that you are really playing one piece at the same time. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah. It's subtle, but and I don't know that you want to have da dee da dee da dee da dee da. I don't want it that any louder, but I would just like to have it be totally coordinated and part of the runs. However you would do that as a pianist, I personally do things. The cello takes two different hands and actually two different things that we're doing. One is we're fingering with the left hand and we're bowing with the right. So I have found that coming together to have a totally coordinated left and right hand makes a difference between something being good and something being really good. And I do that mainly through my beat. I have a very conscious beat going when I'm playing, and I listen. That's my boss. So that might be a suggestion for bringing your hands together. But it's an ambitious program, and you did very well.
Thank you.
You're muted, Kelly. That's all right.
Pardon me. Congratulations, John, I will say again, and everyone is saying it's a beautiful program. I was particularly struck by the fact that I can tell that you love and revere this program. I do too, actually. These are some of my favorite pieces you've chosen. And I definitely can tell how much you love them. I would like to have a better sense of that, if I would have a little criticism from the beginning of the pieces, as I think Donna said. But even more than that, I think that you definitely feel the changes of mood and the changes of character in this piece. I think they can be so much more still, and you could use the harmonic language as your guide for the character and also the voicing. I think this music is just so rich for where it takes us harmonically, and I think if there's anything that could come through more, you could use that to develop the characters that you already clearly feel so deeply. But it's a beautiful performance on a wonderful program, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this wonderful program, for beautiful presentation, and thank you, judges, for your helpful comments. We'll be moving on to our next contestant. I believe it's Kalong Chris Au, pianist.
Yes, indeed. This is from the age group 26 plus.
Are we announcing the correct person? No, this is
Karen. No.
Yerin Lee.
Sorry, Yerin.
Sorry, Yerin. My apologies. Something got mixed up in the order of the program. Welcome. We're looking forward to your performance and best of luck. you very much again to bring Bach to the virtual stage of Sound Espressivo competition. Now to judges.
Yerin, 감사합니다. Beautiful performance. I think that you have chosen an excellent tempo. That is one of the tricks of this piece and this movement and bringing it across is having the right tempo. And now, you have a beautiful sound in many of your passage work in the lower line and the upper line as well. I think the challenge in this movement is to make sure that you have two distinct lines, that the articulation of the lower line always remains in the short fashion that you are accompanying yourself on the upper lyrical line, and that those two things never intermingle with each other. So the top line should stay lyrical and the lower line should stay totally short. And a few times those things sort of get a little mixed in together. But you have an overall beautiful approach. I just say keep going and develop this even further. And beautiful job today.
Once again, congratulations. Nice performance. I am a cellist, so I don't really know this particular Bach, like certainly Kelly knows, but I do know Bach. And I would echo or say in a slightly different way things Kelly said. I do think that you have two distinct voices going on at the same time. You have the melody, which is very lyrical, as you know, and then the other notes that sound like chords, they're really, I think, an accompaniment. And so if you can find some way to blend that together to make sure you're playing one long line and be sure the accompaniment or the second line is totally in sync with the first line. Sometimes in places like this, I'll practice just the melody without the second note and get the melody to sound as beautiful as I can get it to sound. And then I'll hear the melody in my head and play the accompaniment and let it try to put them together. It's possible that it will help. But keep up the good work. Keep it going.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. I know how difficult playing solo violin is. I'm not a violinist, so I applaud you. I thought you did a beautiful job, and I agree with the other two judges. It's nice to hear that the interweaving of the lines, but challenging piece, and you did a very good job. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you bringing Bach on stage. And Bach is always considered, maybe not always, but often considered maybe not the competition piece, and which this is so not true. I really appreciate you bringing Bach. It is a competition composer. It can be so profound and can be so engaging for the audience. I love Bach.
Yes, me too. Yes, it's always lovely to hear Bach.
Yes. So we'll be moving on to the next contestant in the age group of 26 plus. Welcome on stage, Ka Long Chris Au, pianist. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
We're looking forward to your performance.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. Should I begin?
Anytime.
Oh, okay.
When you're ready,
I'd like
yes.
to talk just a little bit about the first two pieces, and I'll say a little bit after, just before the Schumann. This Beethoven sonata is a two-movement piece, opus 78, so it's towards his late period, and it was written in 1805, which is amazing, considering. Well, the piece is amazing because in 1805, Napoleon had fully seized Vienna. there were bombs dropping everywhere. Troops were marching in, and when you listen to this piece, it feels as though there's no sign of war. There's none of that Beethoven sort of angst and kind of passion and struggle. This is dedicated to Therese von Brunswick, who he taught, was one of his students, and was a sister of one of the women he really liked. And it's dedicated to her, and you feel this sort of charm and beauty. So that's the first piece, and second will be Chopin as an Étude. One of his from the Opus 25 set, a little later than his Opus 10 set, and it's a brilliant, fantastic Étude and piece of music written in G sharp minor that ends in sort of a G sharp major, which is really cool. So hope you enjoy. Next, I will play 4 movements of Robert Schumann's Kreisleriana. It is considered one of his sort of the earlier works of his entire composition period, but towards the later period of his piano works before he got married to Clara Wieck. And this is an amazing piece. Kreisleriana is kind of based on E.T.A. Hoffmann's, who's a romantic author, his characterization of this mad and eccentric but highly spiritual and kind of a genius of a conductor also by the name of Kreisler. And this piece attempts to explore the different personalities, not only of Schumann but also of this conductor, and shows very well the 2 personalities we come to know quite well of Schumann's, the Florestan, the more fiery and impassioned personality, as well as Eusebius, who's this very pensive, ponderous and more laid-back character. And you hear that very much in the 4 pieces from the set that I'm going to play. It was written in 1838, around 1838, 1839, and he would have been 29, which is my age. So it's very, very interesting that I'm playing this right now. There is nobody I am currently in love with, and after, sort of how Roberts had to pursue Clara for many, many years and take legal cases for her, but I'm sure this performance will be interesting nonetheless. Thank you. final piece is an Étude by Debussy, written in 1915. The First World War had already begun, and Debussy had an opportunity to kind of escape to the countryside. He was sort of plagued with a lot of sickness and disease until this year, and at the seaside he found himself in the best of health and just loving being in the countryside and being away from Paris. And this is the place where he ended up writing all 12 of the Études. And this is the first one. It's kind of dedicated to Czerny and in a kind of joking manner, and it's kind of mimics the student beginner pianist before it starts to go off in its own direction.
Wow, what a magnificent recital. Wow. To the judges now.
Congratulations, Chris. What a wonderful program you chose. I love the way you play that Debussy. It was fun. You started out like you were a beginner, right? You know, with the keys, but then all of a sudden you got into it. I loved it. I thought that was great. I just have a few things I like to talk about. I love the way you talk about each piece. It really helps the audience, and it shows us how invested you are in your repertoire, in the composers, and your understanding of the program that you put together so thoughtfully. So congratulations on that. Kreisleriana, I'm going backwards, but the Kreisleriana is a challenging piece because you're dealing with Robert Schumann, his two alter egos, his impulsive side and his dreamy side. And so basically, you did a beautiful job of performance. The second piece, the second one, the dreamy, that theme to me is one of the most exquisite themes. I think you could take a little more time. In general, your tempi is wonderful for all your pieces, but that particular one, I would love to see you sort of linger on it more. I would like to see your hands lug the keys on those octaves. Caress those keys and have, over the bar line phrasing. We don't want to hear any beats there. We just want to feel that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I would love for you to explore that and to, sort of sculpt that opening phrase and the theme that returns. Your Chopin Etude was wonderful. Wonderful tempo. You didn't do it too fast, which I love. And you really brought out the music. Just be a little careful about your pedaling. At times I felt you were over pedaling it. It doesn't need all that stuff, right? And the Beethoven, you did a great job. The second movement, I love the spirit. The opening of the Beethoven, and you talked about it so beautifully. It is peaceful, but always remember, he is not sentimental. All right. The musicality part of that opening, for me, is there's a nobility to it. So find that nobility and you'll find the heart of that first movement. But bravo, really beautifully done.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bravo, Chris. This is a really beautiful performance. It was brilliant. I loved it so much. It was so finely crafted, very musical. I love the characters that come through in all of the pieces. You love this music. We can tell it makes us love this music as well. I think that is such a wonderful quality. I am also a concert speaker before concerts, so I love that quality of your performance. If I had any criticisms, it would be that I think if I saw correctly, you might be playing on a Kawai. I'm not sure. They can be bright pianos, but overall, I found that I would love to see you explore now some darker colors from the piano, some warmer colors that you can then use as part of your palette, because it seemed everything was quite bright, and the character of the Äußerst bewegt was when I heard that, I realized that was a kind of a pervasive sound throughout. And you're doing so much with the musicality and the shaping and the characters that I think the next thing is to really find even more depth of color and finger legato. I know piano is a percussion instrument, but I really would love to hear more finger legato in more of the passage work. But overall, just a brilliant performance. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Okay. I echo my colleagues in all that they have said, and congratulations to a really good performance.
Thank you.
Again, just keep digging into yourself, so to speak. Find depth to what you're doing. I think that was a little bit missing for me. It began to all be, your technique is wonderful. I love your sound on the piano and your all of that. think is just fabulous, but somehow go as deep as you can into the music and find different colors. And as Donna said in listening to another Beethoven, make it orchestral. Find all the colors and the strength you can that you would hear in an orchestra. And I think that will give you a clue to finding that for yourself. But congratulations. I also enjoyed your speaking, and you're a wonderful pianist. It's nice to hear you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Okay, Liz, let's try and see if the storm didn't prevent you from being able to connect to us. Let's see if we can hear you.
I don't. Yeah. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
we can.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Wonderful. I hear a lot of feedback. I'm in the middle of a hurricane and a storm in Maine. But come hell or high water, the music will prevail. So if you can hear me, I just want to say congratulations, because this was worth coming for. I have to say, you're an artist. I love your speaking, and you have a facility that makes it, you rise above technical aspects, and that's what we're always looking for. And so I just congratulate you, and I just want you to push yourself even further, because you're so great that I actually think you have even more colors in you and even more ability to be more free with your technique, because as everybody has said, you really are a huge, wonderful artistic talent, and really appreciated being able to come back and hear it on YouTube.
Thank you for coming back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris, for putting a beautiful recital, and thank you, judges, for such wonderful comments. And Liz, this was incredible. I know you lost power and you lost Wi-Fi, and I have no idea how you were able to connect. I'm not even asking, but as long as we have you here, we're grateful. This is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you must have signed up for the postal service. You know, not rain, nor hail, nor sleet shall keep them from their appointed round. So, however you did it, well done. It was great.
That's incredible. We'll be moving on to our next contestant. Let's welcome on stage Leandra Ram, mezzo-soprano, age group 26 plus.
Yes, welcome, Leandra.
Thank you so much. Good evening. I will be singing Olga's aria from Eugene Onegin by Tchaikovsky. In this aria, I'm speaking to my sister Tatiana and telling her to enjoy life. Don't take things so seriously and be as a child like I am.
Всегда мечтаешь ты, а я так не в тебя, мне весело, когда я пение слышу. Уж как по мостам мосточкам, по калиновым досочкам. Я не способна грустить о мной, я не люблю мечтать в тиши, и на балконе ночью томной вздыхать, вздыхать, вздыхать из глубины души. Зачем вздыхать, когда счастлива мои дни текут? Я беззаботна и шаловлива, меня ребенком все зовут. Мне будет жизнь всегда, всегда мила, и я останусь occhi прежде. Подобно ветреной надежде, резво, беспечно, весело. Подобно ветреной надежде, резво, беспечно, весело. Я не способна грустить одна, я не люблю мечтать в тиши, и на балконе ночью темной вздыхать, вздыхать, вздыхать из глубины души. Зачем вздыхать, когда счастлива мои дни не текут? Я беззаботна и шаловлива, меня ребенком все зовут.
Thank you so much. My next piece is going to be Una voce poco fa from Il Barbiere di Siviglia by Rossini. In this aria, a voice I heard a little while ago intrigues me. However, if you cross me, even though I have a slight crush on you, 100 tricks I will throw.
C'è poco fa qui nel cor mi risuonò il mio cor ferito è già e l'indorfo che il piago sì l'indoro mio sarà lo giurai la vincerò sì l'indoro mio sarà lo giurai la vincerò il tutto ricuserò io l'ingegno guzzerò alla fin sacchetterò e contenta io resterò sì l'indoro mio sarà lo giurai la vincerò sì l'indoro mio sarà lo giurai la vincerò. Io sono docile, son rispettosa, son ubbidiente, dolce e amorosa, mi lascio reggere, mi lascio reggere, mi fa guidar, mi fa guidar. Ma se mi toccano dove il mio debole sarà una vipera, sarò, e 100 trappole prima di cedere farò giocar, e 100 trappole prima di cedere farò giocar, e 100 trappole prima di cedere, e 100 trappole farò giocar. Io sono docile, sono obbediente, mi lascio reggere, mi fa guidare. Ma se mi toccano dove il mio demonio sarà una vipera, sarà, e 100 trappole prima di cedere farò giocar, e 100 trappole prima di cedere farò giocar, e 100 trappole prima di cedere, e 100 trappole farò giocar, e 100 trappole farò giocar, e 100 trappole farò giocar, sì.
Brava, brava.
That's
so much.
so refreshing. Thank you so much. I don't even know how you do it with a pre-recorded accompaniment.
Right.
Blows my mind. Now to the judges.
That was really, really a beautiful performance. I loved that you gave the full character to everything, and bravo, like Anna said, for playing with what amounts to an AI pianist. Your pre-recorded accompaniment. That's quite something for the Rossini. For the Tchaikovsky, it's amazing. I just heard this today on the radio. I defer to Anna, of course, but it seems to me that you have really excellent Russian diction and accent. It seemed like it was a really nice accent as well. And darker colors. Yeah. Very good job with that. I speak a little Russian too, so I know. For the Rossini, I would love if you would have a little bit lighter character. I mean, it's so hard to play this aria with an AI pianist, you know, with someone who's not there to actually respond to you. And I think you did a wonderful job in coordinating with what you obviously had worked out before. But I think one thing you can explore is some of your more playful and lighter characters with all of the various rubato and time that you can take and the freedom that you have in that wonderful aria. It was a beautiful job. I think just explore some of the lighter, playful tones for that in particular. But bravo, beautiful performance. And extra points for AI accompaniment.
And extra points for fantastic Russian diction.
Yes.
I don't mean to interfere with the judges' comments, but as a native Russian speaking, that takes a lot of work to master those vowels and those consonants in the Russian language. Oh, those consonants are hard.
Well, I found that the vowels, it had really nice accent, you know, in addition to just the diction, but your accent is actually comes through really nicely. So
thank you. Oh, hello. I hope you can hear me all because I still am in the storm. Congratulations again, wonderful performance, and I can really appreciate, you know, hearing somebody who's singing, it's similar to the flute in the fact that we have to really learn how to work in a small room, because we're so trained to have a projecting sound to the back of the hall. And I think you managed quite well. You know, singing in such a close space is very difficult. So congratulations to you. And I used to be in Santa Fe Opera, and the first opera I played was Eugene Onegin, and that was my favorite aria. And so you did it justice. And as Anna said, I have Russian roots, but I don't speak Russian at all. And yet I could tell that you just did such a great job with your diction. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I agree with Kelly too on the barbers. I agree with Kelly on the barber Seville. Sometimes your sound quality sounded too much for me in the upper part of your throat. We flutists always trying to think of staying in the core of the sound. So, and it's very hard to do when you're up close with a microphone. But if you can concentrate when you're maneuvering the technique, that you always stay in the core of your sound, so that you have more play with a beautiful pure sound. So sometimes that you know, I was a little distracted by that, but overall just really terrific job. Great performing too.
Thank you. You know, I started on the flute actually, so I appreciate everything you said, because that was my instrument that I played in high school. And so yes, thank you.
Well, again, as my colleague said, congratulations. It was a wonderful performance. The only part that bothered me at all is your low register. If there's some way you can get that to be more in focus, or whatever you would call it as a singer, you know, because I love your middle range and your upper range, but then you would go down from some of the lower notes and you would lose some of that beauty that you have in the rest of your voice. So I guess I'm saying something that might be impossible to achieve, but nevertheless, I think you can, and I think it was really good. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And I agree with everything my colleagues have said. I loved your performance, and I loved watching you. And I could see the joy, you know, that you have when you perform, how much you love the music. And that makes me happy. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful offering of the operatic performance. You just proved to everyone that opera can be enjoyed in any circumstances. Isn't that unbelievable? We're so used to opera theater being this big space. Yeah. And it just sounded like right there, opera is here.
Yeah. Yes, it was wonderful for sort of a personal performance just for us.
Yeah, incredible. We get star performance after the star performance after the star performance. I don't know how the judges are going to be doing their job. I'm glad I'm not part of it. It's going to be quite a work to deliberate after this.
I think so.
And we'll be moving on to our last performer of this session and of today, but not the least. Let's welcome on stage pianist Karen Cheng, age group 26 plus. Welcome, Karen.
Welcome,
Wonderful
Karen.
to have you.
Hi, thank you very much.
so much. Thank you for a wonderful offering of your music. Now to the judges.
Congratulations. That was a lovely performance. I can't even imagine in this new age performing virtually live streams without an audience to connect with. It must be nerve-wracking. And I thought you handled it beautifully. I don't want you to worry about memory lapses. I know that is at the forefront of all pianists' minds. I know so many pianists. I've been to so many concerts. Arthur Rubinstein, one of the greatest pianists that ever lived. I'll never forget in Carnegie Hall, his last piece, he plays his war horse, the Chopin Polonaise. And right before the ending, he completely, you could see his eyes completely get lost. He started playing arpeggios, random arpeggios, up and down the keyboard. And they were beautiful arpeggios. And then all of a sudden, you could see the light in his eye, and he goes, I know where I am. And he finished it, got a standing ovation. So it's not always the notes you play that matter, it's how you play them, you know? And we have to, as performers, we are also actors. We have to feel confident, even in our mistakes, so that our audience doesn't feel nervous. You know, the more confident we are, the more comfortable our audience is. And we're human. So that being said, a few little suggestions. In the Schubert, my overall feeling is that you need to breathe. You know, the opening, those runs, they're not scales, they're not runs. They're beautiful wisps of thought. You know, I felt a little bit like they were run-on sentences. We need to create shape and form, you know, even in long runs like that. And you know, and you did it beautifully because you have a lovely even touch. I just want you to breathe a little bit, to find your phrasing throughout your performance. And in the Debussy, you know, I want you to tell your story. You have to know what you're playing before you play it. And I'm not talking about the note. He's painting a picture, but you have to interpret that picture. You have to make a story. That's what I tell all my students. You have to tell a story with your music. And with Debussy, you know, he's telling you, oh, this is the gardens in the rain, but we have to feel your experience. And I feel that you need a little bit clearer articulation, especially in the beginning. Impressionism doesn't mean that you have to use a lot of pedal all the time, you know, and I think that there was a little bit, you know, a little over pedaling. So, you know, go a little bit easier on the pedaling, have a little bit more articulation with the raindrops. Tell us that story. Have some fun. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm up. Okay. Again, congratulations. And the memory slips, they, as she said, amongst the greatest pianists of the world. And I experienced one with Maniacs. I was a member of the New York Philharmonic for more than 40 years and heard lots of great pianists. And it was a rondo. And he just went to the wrong section. And he said afterwards, I knew I was going down the wrong road, but I didn't know how to fix it. So he played and we listened and we finally all got back together in the same place. And I don't even know if the audience knew, but it was a very interesting experience to see and hear someone as great as Emanuel Ax have a slip like that. So, you know, again, we work, we build it in our minds, we build it in our hearts, we do everything we can to figure out where our slips are, and if they happen, they're human. So I totally agree with Donna about that. The other thing I would want is, you know, I'm a cellist. So maybe that's part of my left hand obsession. But I want the left hand to really support the right hand. It's not, the interest is not all of that stuff. It's not that. It's the harmony. It's the colors. It's how he changes the harmony with this brilliant, wonderful melody and whatever that we're going with. So, and I'll give one more New York Philharmonic story about that, which is that we did the great piece by Ravel called Bolero. And I don't know if you know that piece, but if you do, or those that are listening know it, it's one melody that goes throughout the various instruments of the orchestra. With nearly every other conductor, they would tell the soloists how to play it. And they would go, right, you could tell them what they wanted. Well, Mr. Muti simply conducted the accompaniment. He never said one word to the soloist. He just let them do what they wanted. And his attention to the accompaniment made such a brilliant performance. So I encourage you to become a left-handed pianist, and maybe you'll find gems there rather than in the right hand.
That's a very interesting perspective.
Hi, I'm going in and out of my Wi-Fi, but I did hear all of your playing, so I can say congratulations to you. And congratulations for picking this repertoire, because these are really challenging pieces. I love everybody's comments, and yes, we all have stories. I've been in many orchestras where the soloist has had a memory slip. I remember going to Nathan Milstein's last concert, and he played the Bach partita, but he didn't realize he was supposed to play the first five. Started with the very last movement, and he actually didn't even play the first five movements. So that's sort of, that's beyond a memory slip. Anyhow, I don't know if you can hear me, but I just one of the things I think that I can suggest to you is that if you can play exactly what you imagine really slowly, then you will be able to play fast. So in
Okay, I think Liz is gone. She's got such a sketchy Wi-Fi. So
she's in the middle of this storm.
Yeah, the nor'easter. Yeah. So Karen, congratulations on your performance. It is really a wonderful program that you chose, and very hard pieces. I don't want to go on and on about memory slips. People have already addressed it, but I do want to say that, desensitize it. Everyone is telling you a specific memory where they remember someone who had a slip, which only kind of makes it that much more scary in a certain sense. But just acknowledge, we have a ton of repertoire. We play from memory, especially you pianists have the most repertoire of all. And, these things happen, it's human. And the most important thing, and I find that for me, for memory, is if you really focus on what it is you're trying to say, your mind can't do both things at once. It can't be worried about that while you're really working to embody as much as possible a character, a mood, a tone. It's a very scary prospect when we play these hard pieces and whatnot. But I think you did an admirable job with lots of notes. I think you can go further with what it is that you actually really want to say, the tonal colors of these pieces, and that will help. And as somebody just mentioned, I think if you can play through pieces when you're about to fall asleep, when you're laying in the bed, there's a direct stitching connection to what your tactile, your digital muscle memory can reenact. So that's one thing. But I would just say, really attach yourself as much as possible to the creative center of your brain, and really go further with that, with these pieces, because all the notes are there. You have them. But I think beautiful job on your performance. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Karen, for the wonderful conclusion of this program of today's semifinals. We had a very, very long day with a lot of beautiful performances, and I think we have Liz back. Let's try to give her another chance to say what she wanted to finish saying? Liz, if you can hear us, please speak. We can hear you.
Okay. Are we? Am I still discussing the Karen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So no, I think I'm sort of done. Except that I just a wonderful job. Congratulations. I would explore the colors more a little. It's like I know you feel the music, but I would just try to let your ears get more into the sound of Debussy. You know, that like a look at the paintings of that time, the Impressionist era. I'm just missing some of all the colors that you can get, and just practice slowly. That's what I say. If you can sound great slowly, you can play anything fast. So I just encourage you to think about that.
Okay. Liz has been making heroic efforts to get back in. She's in the middle of a really serious storm where she is. It's a high weather at the moment. And again, thank you very much, Karen. This was a beautiful way to conclude a very long day of semifinals. And we will have the judges leave and move to the judges' deliberation room, which we set up this morning with great foods and champagne and fruits and everything we could find virtual. I hope you have all those things at your house so you can refresh yourself while you're deliberating. This is a lot of music and a lot of great performances for judges to choose who to advance. That's going to be really, really challenging.
Absolutely.
Yes, and if we still have Karen and John here, would you please indicate to us if you were intending to be part of the post-session short interview with us? Please let us know in the chat if you would like to join us for the interview. We would be happy to ask you a couple of questions while the judges are moving to the judges' deliberation room. So let's see. Yes, the judges will be moving to the deliberation room, and I believe they're getting some instructions on how to get there. So Karen, please just let us know if you would like to join for the interview to be put on the screen. We'll ask you a question or two. We have about 20 minutes before we have to announce the results, and I'm feeling unsure that we will have them for today. Well, maybe not
Hello,
all
Karen.
of them. Hi, Karen. Can you hear us?
Oh, hi. How are you?
Okay. So I don't know if you were watching the previous sessions. Me and Margaret were enjoying our part of the show, which is to ask the contestants how they felt preparing for this online virtual performance experience on the competition.
Yeah, I thought it was really fun to have something to work towards, and I haven't performed since I was probably 8, like in a pressure environment since I was 18. So this was extremely stressful for me, but in a fun way. Wow. Yeah, so it was. I think it's a really nice experience, and I think actually it's more comfortable for me to be at home because we have kids and it's really impossible to travel sometimes. So I think I would have never done this had it not been at home.
Aha, that's interesting. And I believe you have very musical family. So you and your husband and your children are all musicians.
Yes, that's right. And I actually got more back into piano because of my children. So I grew up in this area and I played locally here growing up. And so and then of course I wanted my children to play piano. So it's fun. It gets a little challenging because there's only so many pianos you can have in a house.
But I admire you setting such an example to your children by stepping up on the virtual stage and performing when this is challenging, this is nerve-wracking, this can be really a point which a lot of people would say, well, I won't even try. It's just so scary. I hope your children are watching you do this and learning from this example you're setting.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, they perform a lot themselves, and it's really fun to have an event to kind of give you a focus on why you need to finish something. And I wanted to thank you for having a category for over 26, because often, once you're an adult, there's not too many opportunities to have something useful or meaningful to work towards. So this was really nice.
Oh, thank you. That's, yeah. So whereabouts in the USA are you?
I'm in Fairfax, Virginia, and I actually believe I'm not too far from Anna.
You're close, yeah.
And this is Northern Virginia, and there's a large music community here, so it's really nice. There's usually a lot of events. Right now, nothing's going on with coronavirus; everything's gone virtual. But it's a nice place. I grew up here. I've lived here since I was 5, so there's a lot of opportunities for pianists here.
No, I think that's great. It is lovely when there is, because music does give you a real community. And I say I play in orchestra. I play I'm principal double bass in the Hull Philharmonic, and there's a very charming local orchestra, which is an amateur orchestra, and it's all older players. And I'm usually too busy. I'm always being asked, can you play, for the Messiah, can you play for this? Because bass players can be a bit like hen's teeth. And I don't have time, but I will always play for them because I really appreciate the fact that they give adult players, there are lots of opportunities for children, but I think you're right. Sometimes as an adult player, trying to find, opportunities where you can play, where you can perform. So I'm glad you found that with us. That's great.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I wanted to say I met my husband John, who performed tonight at when we were both in college at Carnegie Mellon, and we were right next to Carnegie Hall. So our first date was actually we went to go see Ashkenazi play, and
wow!
And as students, we got $5 tickets to go to the concerts. Wow. So that was so great. And it was really nice. So that was, I didn't know John too well at that time. And he didn't tell me he played the piano. And we came home, and I had a digital piano in my room. And he played one of the pieces that Ashkenazi played. And I was like, wait, you didn't tell me you played the piano? So.
Oh, that's such a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing it, Karen. That's wonderful, warm, beautiful family with so much love for music and so much dedication. It's just such an honor to present all of you as contestants in this competition. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Joining.
I enjoyed it.
It's been super.
Okay, and with this, we're going to thank our audience, our dedicated backstage technical crew.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that technical crew had been performing miracles today, with a storm, with Liz, and with some other technical challenges that some contestants had connecting or with their technology, with their microphones, and I don't know how they did it, but we had everyone perform today. Nobody was rescheduled.
Nope.
Yeah, which I think in itself is a great achievement. And we're moving fast forward towards our 9 o'clock deadline. I'm not sure this last session judges will be able to conclude their deliberations by then, Margaret, but we have to hop onto our announcement platform. So with that, we're going to say good night to everyone who is watching the last session of today, and we're inviting you to rejoin us tomorrow for, again, 4 sessions. 12 noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., all Eastern Standard Time. And I hope, Margaret, you're able to join me tomorrow. This is, 2 o'clock already?
It's coming up to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
This time zone made it possible for us to connect, but it made it impossible to live.
Yes, it'll be. Because the only thing is, I know that the cats are going to want their breakfast at the usual time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not going to get to sleep for very much longer. You know what it's like? I can't shut them out because they'll just sit outside the door and sing the song of their people until I'm away.
Oh, they will.
So we'll see, but it's been worth it. It's been absolutely terrific.
Absolutely thrilling, yep. Incredible. We'll say goodbye to this broadcast and this audience.
We'll
Thank you for staying with us.
To
Transferring
the announcement
over
platform
to the next one and gearing up for announcing the results.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. So
yes,
we'll see you.
Can't wait.
See you there.
See you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.